Good morning, everyone, and welcome to your Rangers Review morning briefing. It is match day. It is Thursday, the 24th of October. And to look ahead to tonight's game, I'm joined for the first time this week by Stevie Clifford. How's it going, Stevie?
Yeah, I'm all right. Thanks, mate. I hope you're well. Hope everyone is well that is watching. It's almost the weekend.
Yes, it is almost the weekend. Absolutely. Just a heads up, those of you got a message yesterday about our new intro music. It is getting... we're turning down the volume as of next week at some point, folks. So we're on to it. So apologies if we have burst your eardrums with that. Someone messaged me yesterday saying they almost crashed their car, which we don't want. We don't want that on the roads because of an accident being the Ranger Review intro music. So yeah, we're getting it sorted out, folks. Right, let's crack on.
That intro music, Derek, was it Johnny?
Let's just say he likes it, but yeah, the masses have put him in his place, shall we say? So yeah, it will be getting sorted, folks. A more ear-friendly tune will be getting sorted out. So good news for those that are complaining about that. Right, match day, of course. FCSB pitching up at Ibrox tonight in the Europa League match day 3. Before we talk about the big talking points from yesterday's press conference, Stevie, confident about tonight?
No. First time, obviously, I've spoken to you since Sunday, Derek. I thought the performance on Sunday was disgraceful. Really, really poor, boring to watch, tedious. Looked like we had absolutely nothing about us at all. And, you know, how that can lead to confidence for tonight, I'm not sure. It's not like you can make an abundance of changes. It's not like you can do much different. So I would love to see a response. But truthfully, I think I lost a whole lot of confidence on Sunday in what was a quite frankly, a dreadful performance. So if you're asking me if I'm looking forward to tonight, then no. But we certainly need a response, and we need a performance, that's for sure, because we're only 1 or 2 results away from this going really, really badly wrong, which we can't afford to do. So let's get a big response tonight. That's the only hope.
Yeah. I have concerns about tonight as well. I don't think, FCSB are a good side. They're on good form. They've won their first 2 matches in this competition. They have pace, which is a concern for me because Rangers don't. So I'm just hoping that the manager has something up his sleeve and we're not seeing similar formation, the same sort of turgid football as we've witnessed of late as well. So I hope when I head towards Ibrox tonight that I'm entertained. But yeah, I do have concerns. Let's crack on with the press conference then, because a number of questions have been raised following Clement's address to your good self, Stevie, and his response to a number of questions. A bumper press conference yesterday, 24 minutes in length. Let's get right to it then. You quizzed them on the style of play, and I've got your clip up here, so we'll play that, and then we'll get your take on it.
You know as well as I do, there's a lot of anger after Sunday. One of the main complaints is Rangers' style of football. Too many long balls, too many needless passes side to side. How do you respond to accusations that this team's boring to watch?
It's 2 totally opposite things that you say there. So
that's the accusation from the fans.
Or sideways passing.
Well, the accusation from the fans is there's too much of it and there's no attacking play and they're boring to watch. How do you respond to that?
No, but what you say now, is it too many long balls or is it too many sideways passes?
It can be both.
It's about creating not enough chances. That's then the conclusion at the end. I agree with that in the Clement game. It was the case. In other games we created more chances, not in all the games until now, but you see also we're starting to play also with new players in that role who are just in the building. Nedim Bajrami is how long here? 4 weeks or something? 6 weeks maximum. And in the 6 weeks he's been 3 or 4 weeks away with the national team. So they're just in the building There are other players in other clubs who come to their better level now after the first 6 months that everybody said that they were not good. So Nedim did already good things, but of course you need to create these connections on the pitch more and more to get to know each other, which moment to run, which moment to play deep, which moments to create a chance or the shot. We need to create these moments.
So that's what you had to say, Stevie. I've seen it's blew up on social media, your question to the manager. I think it was a legitimate question. Got a bit prickly, of course, with it. I don't know why he's bringing up Nadim Bayrami. I get his point about players taking a bit of time to integrate into the side, but Rangers are boring. There's no doubt about it. And what did you make of his response?
What did I say? What I think of his response, I think he was deliberately a wee bit off with me back, because obviously when you go at him and you're questioning his methodology, you're questioning his ability to manage, then he's going to be a wee bit prickly, as you said with that. But Derek, yeah. I'm not there to be his friend. I'm there to ask the questions that people don't necessarily want me to ask, but that I feel need asked. And I stood in the away end on Sunday with my 7-year-old Jackson, and the things that people were saying to me at half time, 70 minutes, and then an abundance of people try to talk to me on the way out at full time and things, was that this football is rubbish, and the style of it, bluntly, Derek, it wasn't quite without various other words being thrown in, but that the style of play is really poor. It's boring. There's too many side-to-side passes. It's too slow, and there's too many long balls. And I seen it on Sunday. Where I was on Rugby Park, it's a great vantage point to see the whole setup of the team, and the system is absolutely non-evident. There's no pace in the team, and I felt like it was a probing question. Was it delivered perfectly? No, I'm not. For British Romano journalist, I'm not that. I'm fan media, so I do my best. I'm no different from anybody else that I was in the stand with on Sunday. And it's difficult when the manager comes back at you a wee bit. So did I get a point across to him that maybe perhaps everybody else felt? Maybe. So I don't expect him to go, do you know what, Stevie, you're right, the football's terrible. Of course he's going to defend himself. I don't have a problem with how he came across to me or anything like that. Was he a wee bit? Maybe he was a wee bit, but if he just sat there bluntly and took it, then fine. But I think the point was made. And Derek, the thing is, I'm very much not anti-Philippe Clement, as you know. But what I am is
succeed.
Yeah, absolutely. But what I am is I'm very anti what we saw on Sunday. It was dreadful stuff. And he spoke a lot when he first came in about lateral passing. That wasn't quite the phrase he used. We all know the phrase he used, which we won't say just in case Johnny's watching. But he spoke about lateral passing and how he was going to get rid of it. All I seen on Sunday, in fact, I think there was a period where Rangers had it for almost 2 minutes, passing it side to side at the back. Now, I get you need to move it to move the teams in front of you, but when you're moving it as slowly as we are, proper, Suter, Tav, proper, Suter, boring stuff. And it really was. And then there was a couple of times where Connor Barron had it and he was breaking forward, and there's none of that front four were available to pass the ball to and things like that. And then when it did get up to Dessers, the least said about that, the better. So there's a whole lot wrong with that. And, is it nice to go toe-to-toe with the manager, so to speak? Is it nice to have to stand there and criticise and speak to him emotively and put a kind of pressing point to him? No, it's not. It really isn't. And people sit and say, Derek, that it's easy. And, I'd say this, I'd say that. It's very intimidating. So it is what it is. But if the point's been made and it gives him maybe a small thing to think about on behalf of what the support are possibly really thinking, because I can never claim to speak for anyone, but the majority of people who spoke to me on the way out or spoke to me at half-time and things on Sunday, these are the things that were telling me, Derek. So it is what it is. I felt like it needed to be asked. I thought Tom Lawrence handled it a wee bit better. Put the same question to him, more or less. So it is what it is. I would like to see wholesale changes tonight, but the absolute truth is that we don't have the squad and we don't have the quality. So what he's going to do to fix this tonight, I'm not sure. But we cannot put in a performance like that again and expect to win tonight, expect to win Sunday. Never mind going up to Tawdry on Wednesday. So I think the real issue with Philip Clement is, and I wrote this last week in an article for Rangers Review, which went out on Saturday morning, is that Philip Clement could never have won over the support in this little trench of fixtures. He could have given them a wee bit of hope and we could have been a wee bit more upbeat. But the very real possibility was that he could lose them. And it took 90 minutes at Rugby Park for that to happen, Derek. And you and I well know when the fans and the support get to this stage where they are, and we've seen it several times in recent years, then it's a long way back for Philippe Clement. And I think he knows that.
Yeah. Can't disagree. Just incidentally, on Lawrence, his response to that question, he says, I think that's fair for the game on Sunday. I don't think it's fair for the previous games. I think we've created enough chances in previous games. On Sunday, I don't know why we perform like that, but we need to make sure we don't perform like that ever again at this club while we're here. Like I said, me being a creative player, I have to create chances, score goals. We need to be quicker. We were too lackluster, and I'm sure we'll be a lot better on Thursday night. So that's what he's had to say about that. So let's hope that Rangers are a lot quicker in their play tonight. So yeah, interesting stuff. There's a great piece on the website this morning from Chris, where he talks about another response from Clement when he was quizzed on if he's confident Rangers are still on that trajectory of improving month on month. He says for sure 200%. So a short answer from the manager, but yeah, he very much still believes Rangers are on course at this moment in time. But yeah, this certainly left a lot of people scratching their head from yesterday's press conference. And there's a point as well I wanted to raise, which I found staggering yesterday when it broke last night. Of course, Marvin Bartley was on Radio Clyde. He said, I think there's a big couple of weeks ahead when talking about Rangers. Obviously, he was given a new contract about Clement, and then I'll be honest, I was in agreement with that. From what I was hearing coming out of the dressing room, there was one or two players that had the mentality of, I'll outlast the manager. I've been in dressing rooms before, and it's very difficult for managers to turn around a club if players think that's a possibility, but they need to do more regardless of anything, regardless of what's going on behind the scenes, which is not something that you want to hear at a football club. Callum raising the point as well, saying that some astonishing comments last night. I mean, just assuming those he's speaking the truth. I've got no reason to think why he would utter that on a radio station. Stevie, if there wasn't an element of truth in it, that tells me all is not well behind the scenes.
I don't think I was surprised in the slightest by it, Dick. As sad as that is, we've heard now for a number of weeks stories of unrest, gossip, which happens in Glasgow. As soon as you don't win, as soon as you go through a run like this, gossip happens, and this person this and this person that and everything else. So it doesn't surprise me in the slightest. Is it helpful? No, it's probably not. But, you know, I do have some sympathy for Philippe Clement in terms of the job that he's had to do, and I'll continue to say it. There's context to everything about the turnaround in the summer, having to lower wages and things like that, and all that's true. And all that is absolutely true, Derek. And I think that possibly we've been a bit unkind to him. However, that all stops when the product in the park is dreadful, and you're not seeing anything. And I'll tell you something else, Derek, as well, is wearing a wee bit thin this the players need to take time to settle in and everything else, because you look, cut 100 mile up the road, and there's a guy that's been in the summer, lost his biggest player in the summer, recruited fairly decently, and has got them playing a recognised style. And that argument from Philip Clement about Nadeem Bayrami and all this nonsense, sadly, it's wearing a bit thin, Derek.
Yes.
So, and just like yesterday's press conference, it'd be interesting to see if we had a Malmo counter, the amount of times you mentioned that. Malmo is the outlier of this season for Philippe Clement. It's not the norm. It's not, it's not where we need to be. You look at Hibs at Ibrox, 18 shots for Hibs. You look at Dundee United away, coming extremely close a couple of times, but ahead of the shot that just went wide. They could easily have sneaked a point. Hibs could easily have got points. Dwight Gale, I think, had that header with 5 minutes left. So this isn't, and they're just recent games. But we've scored 1 goal away from home in the league. You know what I mean? Tynecastle, 0-0. Parkhead, a training match for them. If we can go to Parkhead and go through the motions, and yeah, we were super for 10 minutes. Give us a 10-minute cup then, Philippe. But, you know what I mean? Aberdeen go 2-0 down and storm back. And I don't buy this nonsense of we need to wait and, it needs time and we'll be better in October, November. Now we'll be better a couple of months later and stuff like that. Derek, it's tiresome. And I think that's the problem. When you're as bad as what you were on Sunday, then I think that's a huge knock on anyone's confidence that we can turn it around. And by the way, let me just nail this here and now. It's not all Philip Clement. Those players have a responsibility, and it's the first time on Sunday I've watched them. And Tom Lawrence was asked yesterday, Derek, I don't know if you've got his answer to hand, but he was asked yesterday if the players care. And that's a very valid question, because there was a lot of us on Sunday, and that's what people were saying to me as well, that these players don't care and they're not trying. And it's the first time on Sunday that I've watched them in a very long time and thought to myself, they're going through the motions. And there's a couple of players that will pick out. Cyril Dessers for one, Mohamed Diamandi's another. Bayrami looked miles within himself. Czerny looked like he didn't have any kind of confidence. Tom Lawrence spent 90 minutes doing what Tom Lawrence does, which is hiding in the best possible fashion. So there's a lot of players in there that need to have a good look at themselves and ask themselves whether or not, from captain right forward, asking themselves whether or not they're giving their best. Because it's all right blaming Philippe Clement and this and that, but the attitude of some of those players on Sunday, you will never ever convince me that they were given 100% for this club on Sunday afternoon, because the attitude, effort, desire just was not there. And I'll not forgive that, as much as I might be angry at the manager for tactical things and the way we're playing and everything else. After they go out in the white line, Derek, it's up to the players to perform, put in a shift, and at least show some desire. We showed absolutely nothing on Sunday. Yeah. Absolutely nothing at all. And it's not good enough. It's frankly not good enough.
Yeah. That was alarmingly evident on Sunday. It looked like a team that weren't playing for the manager and didn't have it's a formation and a style of play that doesn't suit them either. Rangers should be performing much better than they are at this moment and in time. I don't think anyone would disagree with that. Just incidentally, on Lawrence's answer to the question that was posed to him, one of the things that's been said is the players don't care enough. Yeah, definitely we care a lot. We were with the fans after the game on Sunday, and it hurts a lot because we don't want that. Fans don't want it. No one wants it. Like I said, we need to put in a performance tomorrow night. So that is what he had to say about that. There's a point coming in as well. George Higgins says, a question to both of you, at what point did the board act and change the manager? I don't think he's going anywhere at this moment in time. The board are well on board with Philip Clement. Did touch on this, I think, in previous videos. Rangers still need to get their house in order off the field before we look on the pitch. So even if they get beat tonight, God forbid they get beat on Sunday, Wednesday is the one we're looking towards as well, Stevie. The potential of going 9 points behind Aberdeen in second. Do you think a decision may be made then, perhaps, or soldier on. We're in this for the long haul.
By who? What board?
Yeah.
The same board that didn't want to be chairman and put somebody else in charge. And I'll not criticise John Gilligan or George Latham because they're very good people. Massive Rangers fans, have stood in the way end for 30, 40, 50 years and have put their heart and soul into this club, fighting for a number of years for it. So there's absolutely no criticism of these guys. They are me and you standing, or me and you watching, standing in an away end. So there's absolutely no criticism of them. But as the shareholder, the former chairman, people that are putting us in this position that we're in through years of poor decisions, at what point do the board act? You're relying on them to at least then show a wee bit of leadership. And what have they done in the last few years that give you any confidence that they would do that? So we're in a status quo at this moment in time, and they'll be sitting hoping and praying that they don't have to act. But at some point, Derek, if it doesn't pick up and if it gets worse, if things go badly wrong, if we're 9 points behind third place this time next week, the pressure will be insurmountable, because all that will happen is, the faces on the banner won't be Philippe Clement. It'll be the boardroom, it'll be the Parks, it'll be Bennett's and everything else, and the pressure to sell up. And people will start gravitating towards Dave King and the fact that Dave King said, give me the chance to sort this and fix this, because people want stability. They want answers. Whether or not Dave King's the answer is another argument altogether, because Dave has made some decisions financially, etc., that's put the club, back as well. So Dave isn't perfect, but at least he has some sort of idea of what he wants to do. And I'm not saying that's correct, but people will gravitate towards it. So, when do the board act? I'm not sure I trust the boardroom at all at this moment in time.
Yeah. Right, let's move on to tonight's game. A lot of negativity so far on the show, which is understandable. The match tonight, Stevie, in terms of team selection, the manager did say, interestingly, and now I'll bring this up because you went to watch the B team on Tuesday, that Zach Lovelace would be part of the squad. Won't start, but he provides an option for him from the bench. Ridvan's back training, but this match comes too early for him. Never mentioned Robin Proper or Dujon Sterling, I don't think. Does he make massive changes tonight, personnel-wise? How do you see him shaping up?
First of all, on the B team the other night, congratulations to Davy McCallum and Malky Thompson, because the B team were absolutely brilliant. Football was incredibly good. On the deck, passing, one touch. Two boys in midfield, Bailey Rice and Paul and Seal, were terrific. And they set it all up for fast, pacey play down the wings, Derek. Can you believe it? Finlay Curtis, absolutely brilliant. 2 goals from him. Zach Lovelace on the left, terrific as well. Good shift for Danilo and Hadji. Although they were outshone by the youngsters, Danny is still a bit rusty, but he had a few good challenges. He took a few knocks, scored a good goal. Yeah, we touch and placed it into the corner. So that was just inside the box, edge of the box. So that was all positive, but the youngsters were terrific, Derek. And Zach Lovelace in 45 minutes showed more on the wing than I've seen in a long time from a Rangers team. Does that make him ready? I'm not sure it does, but Philippe Clement answered me yesterday and said that Zach Lovelace isn't available and isn't able to do it for 10 games and stuff like that. Well, my question back to Philippe Clement is, how do you know? Because we've never, ever put the youngsters in that position where they could actually go and play 30, 40 minutes for 10 games in a row and see what they can do. And my answer to it also is that if you bring in somebody like that who's got electric pace and no fear, desperate to make a name for himself, it could maybe galvanise those around them. And I would ask anybody watching Rangers on Sunday that if they felt that if Tom Lawrence came out that team, for example, and they put in a youngster like Zach Lovelace, would you really be losing a lot from the attack? Or are you gaining an out ball? Are you gaining some pace and power and stuff like that? So am I saying that he's ready? He's not the second coming of Neil McCann or Peter Lovenkrands or any pacey people that we've had on the left-hand side, but he might just be a little bit of excitement and a little bit of entertainment that we've solely lacked for the last few games at least, Eric. So that on the B team, yeah, it's great to see him involved. He is out of contract at the end of the season. I think it would be a massive, massive shame if Zach Lovelace went elsewhere, because I think he's a kid with incredible talent. I think he needs to be given a chance. He's rapidly fast. He's a big guy. It's not like he's a wee, 5'5" guy like me, Derek, who's slight and everything else. He's a big boy. Like, he's over 6 foot. He's well, he might not be, but everybody seems like they're over 6 foot to me. So
he's filled out. He doesn't need to fill out any more.
No, he doesn't. He's a big boy. That's my point.
Yeah.
So physically, he can handle it, and that was the impressive thing about Stenhouse Muir's game the other night. They're all men, and these young lads were putting their boot in and winning the midfield battle and stuff like that as well. And Bailey Rice has got a real eye for a pass. He's got a lovely left foot, but he was outshone in the middle by Paul and Seal, who was a real box-to-box performance. So there is talent in that academy. Are they ready for the first team? It's a massive jump. But the problem you've got is when you're seeing performances that we are seeing now, the clamour to give more of these boys will be there. But Zach Lovelace is definitely the pick of the bunch, Derek. I would like to see him get minutes urgently as a matter of priority. And I think that when you have a team that's a bit flat and it's needing something, then maybe an injection of pace and the enthusiasm of a young kid could make the difference.
How did Daniil? He scored, of course. Clement did say yesterday's not ready yet. Do you think we'll see him soon in the first team?
No. As painful as it is watching Cyril at this moment in time, because by the last 4 or 5 games he's been miles away from standards required. I think that even he might be a wee bit disillusioned with having the ball fired up to him in the air 20 times a game. So I would like to see some change up there, but the truth is I think Danilo is quite a bit away. He looked a bit rusty, and he'll say that himself. I spoke to him afterwards, and he was really pleased. He got a good 60 minutes, and it was a good 60 minutes. There's no denying that. He done plenty of running. He got plenty of bumps. He took plenty of tackles. He held up the ball. He passed it off. He showed a wee quick turn of pace a few times. Scored a good goal, a very good finish. And in the second half, he had the great dummy, which Finlay Curtis almost got onto, and then he went through as well. Tried to kind of poke it past the goalie, and the goalie made a good save. So he was certainly involved, Derek. From a worthwhile run-out point of view, it was a really good 60 minutes, mate, and I'm really happy for him. I want to see him do well. But in terms of the first team and starting and things like that, I think we are a good month away before we see, we need more minutes for Danilo. We need more. Will he be involved from the bench? Will he get 10 minutes here and there? Absolutely. But this is the thing about, the striking options and things like that, Derek. This is not a complaint or not a criticism where we all blame Cyril Dessers and things like that. But I would just like us to play to his strengths.
Yeah.
Firing the ball and asking him to hold it up and everything else is not playing to his strength, because he can't do it. And he's like, he plays like he's a pinball machine. It just bounces off him all the time. If you want to get your best out of Cyril Dessers, get him in around the box and get the ball to his feet so that he can twist and turn and feint back in 30 times before he shoots and stuff like that. So get the best out of the players. That's all I'm asking. Play to their strengths. Get the ball down. Play by Rami as a 10. See what he can do. Get Jeffy further forward on the left. See if that helps with the pace thing and stuff like that. Maybe try Ross McCausland on the right-hand side, because Czerny's not picking up. Is he being helped by the fact that Tab's behind him and stuff? I'm not sure, but needs to be a wee bit of, not radical changes, Derek, but you need to try and breathe life into what was a pretty flat performance on Sunday, and that's my biggest concern.
Yep, I just fell away there. My Wi-Fi, the dreaded Wi-Fi icon came up on my screen. So apologies, folks. I just dipped out of the show there. But yeah, bang on, Stevie. Yeah, it'll be intriguing to see what team the manager selects this evening. I want to see changes. I want to see a change-up in formation. Do I expect to see that? No, I'm not entirely sure we will. But big match tonight, Stevie. Prediction-wise, how do you see it going?
I would like team-wise. I would play Casavirzo on the left and put Jeffy a wee bit further forward to put in some pace, and then I would shift Bayrami into a 10 position and ask him to play really close to Dessers. Now, there's nobody else apart from Cyril, and he is the only one. Even on Sunday, he was the only one that looked like he might be scoring goals. And hit the bar, obviously shot from outside the box and stuff like that. It wasn't good enough. And in that first half, slated his performance, but there's nobody else, sadly, that you can put in there. The right-hand side's a bit of a toss-up, Derek, so he's never, ever going to drop James Tavernier. Robin Propper will probably come out due to injury. And, Balogun, maybe there's a few changes he can make in there, so he's not going to do anything with the midfield. I'm not sure there is. Raskin might come in at some point, but look, I think if it's going to be a win, it's going to be very close. I think you might see it being 2-1, 1-0 kind of thing. I would settle for that now, just to get the victory.
Yeah.
And just to get the win. I certainly hope we do, Derek. It is all doom and gloom at this moment in time, but I don't think you can expect to do something like Sunday and then everybody to be in a rosy good mood and think it's wonderful. So hopefully the fans will turn up and we get a good performance and things like that, but I'll settle for a victory, that's for sure. I think it'll be close. And answers your question, I think it'll be a very close game. I don't see us winning 3-0. I hope maybe we can sneak it 1-0, 2-1.
Yeah, I think they'll be pretty tidy tonight, the remaining champions. So, hopefully they can shut them out. If you want to learn more, incidentally, about them, I spoke to a Romanian journalist over on the YouTube channel, Theodore Jumatati, who gave us a bit of an insight into FCSB and their unorthodox owner, shall we say, Gigi Bacali, who picks the team, makes the subs all from his house. He's got a link up to the coaching staff on the dugout, and he tells them when to make subs. They always make a sub at halftime, I'm told, as well. Funnily enough, Clement was asked by one of the Romanian journalists yesterday about that setup at Steaua Bucharest, and he says, well, he'll never go there and be a coach. It is a very weird situation over there, but it is what it is. Hopefully Rangers can get the better of them this evening. Right, we'll have all the usual stuff from tonight's game. I'm heading along with Chris, so we'll have the pre-match video as well as the post-match stuff. We'll have you covered at Ibrox, folks, so we hope you can join us for that if you're not heading along yourself to the stadium. Right, enjoy your Thursday, and we'll speak to you later. Bye for now.